Tiffany Townsend. I'm the Vice President of Communications and Government Affairs for NYC and Company, which is New York City's tourism office.
Okay, thanks for talking to Breaking
Great.
Travel.
Great to be here.
You're lucky enough to work for one of the most famous destinations in the world.
We like to think so.
Why would people come back to New York, perhaps, if they've been once already?
I think New York City is one of those places that's constantly changing. So even if you've been here within the last 6 months, last year, there's something completely new to see and do every single time you come, whether it's dining, it's shopping, or entertainment. It's a constantly changing, evolving city, so it's hard to get bored.
It's more famous outside of areas like Manhattan as well. There's four other boroughs. Is that
Correct.
So people, you're trying to sort of spread the sort of visitor numbers around.
Oh, certainly, and you have Staten Island, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens, in addition to Manhattan, which is obviously probably the most well-known part of the city. But we always encourage people that when they come, whether it's your first time or your 10th time coming, really again spread out your trip and try and visit all of the boroughs that you can. It's probably difficult unless you have some amount of time for a trip, but get to Brooklyn, go to Manhattan, and really explore, and you'll see the different unique flavors that each of those areas has.
It's quite an interesting city to get around as well, isn't it? You can sort of travel by ferry around the water and things like that.
Absolutely, and that's one of those things that most people don't really think about when they think about New York City. They don't think of it as a city that's on the water, but we are an island, and Manhattan is an island. It's bordered by 2 rivers, and it's actually quite easy. And we have a program called the Harborway Initiative, which really the goal is to get people to really think of New York City as a city on the water and be able to take ferries around, which we do have quite a few of. You have the New York Water Taxi, you have New York Waterway. There's so many different ones that will allow you to go from Manhattan to Governor's Island to Brooklyn to Queens and just get around New York City by water, which is actually quite simple.
You can take the famous yellow taxis as well.
Yes, of course you can always do that.
It's been quite an interesting time in Harlem as well recently. The first hotel opened there.
The first hotel is open in Harlem, which is wonderful because now we have accommodations above 96th Street. It's really making Harlem that much more of a destination. I think it's definitely one of the most popular neighborhoods, particularly for international travelers when they come to visit New York City, but now they actually have a place to stay, so it makes it much easier to visit uptown and stay uptown, and also to visit the Bronx, which is north of Manhattan as well.
How about moving into 2011? Are there any events you're particularly excited about in the next few months?
We've got lots of major events, lots of major promotions. So Restaurant Week, which happens twice a year, is coming back, and so that's in winter in January and February, and then again in the summer in July and August. We also have the first ever Broadway Week, which is also taking place in winter this year, and then we also have On the House, which focuses on promoting off-Broadway. Throughout the year, we have another initiative called the Culture Spot, which highlights a different cultural institution each month, which also has an offer to go with it, typically a 2-for-1 ticket price, really encouraging people to take advantage of all the cultural offerings in the city.
How are you finding, changing stack?
No, great.
How are you finding the market at the moment? Is visitor numbers up, down?
Visitor numbers are actually up. We expect to have about 47.5 million visitors to New York City through the end of 2010. So we're actually still on track to meet our goal of 50 million visitors annually by 2012.
On a sort of more national level, the U.S. Tour Travel Authority, I believe George Ferretta,
who is the CEO of NYC and Company, was actually recently appointed to the Corporation for Travel Promotion by the Obama administration. So it's an 11-member board, and New York City is fortunate enough to be the only city representative on that board. And what this board will do is help to create the first marketing communications campaign to really target international visitors, both in the sense of promotion and promoting for people to come to the U.S. to visit, but also to make sure that we are communicating in an effective and friendly manner everything that somebody needs to know about how to visit, about the entry process.
So that's quite a big success for New York City.
It's a huge success, and I think it's also going to be a huge success nationally, just nationally and internationally. I think it will really help the tide rises, for everybody in an occasion like this.
Okay, excellent. Well, it sounds like it's been quite an exciting year.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for talking to Breaking Travel.
Thank you.